Hello, and welcome to another scene for the Living World of Darkness. Rage across New York. Today's scene takes place on the Sept of the Green. Bailey's kind of meandering about in kind of a mood. Just aimlessly sort of kicking around at the moment.
Kolya, for his part, after finishing his morning routine and going to work, drops by his apartment, has a quick shower, quick change of clothes, and comes to begin his evening rounds.
Yeah.
Stops near one of the trees, lights up a cigarette, takes a very leisurely stroll, just thinking to himself.
Yeah, it probably won't take him too long before coming across Bailey not being good for much at the moment. Looking a little woozy and just staring up at the storm clouds that have suddenly appeared. Hey, and Nikki.
Looks at her, puts two fingers down the collar of his shirt, pulls it back, puts his head back a little.
She does like the awkward tap on the throat thing. You're good.
Trash can, Raya?
How's everything on the set?
Don't know, I just got here.
You're doing
Can't
your
really
rounds
do
right
it.
now, aren't you?
Yep, just started.
So, how up to date are you on the comings and goings of this place so far?
Depends on what you mean.
You aware somebody's coming after us?
Cocks his head and gives Billy the side eye. Someone always is coming after us. It's in the job description.
Usually, it's not in such large quantities, in my experience. But fair enough. Yeah. Terminal amounts of enemies. What you know about Banes?
Their spirits, they're were maligned, they're bad news. They can be killed.
You know anything about killing Banes?
Not anything that's not obvious. Stab anything enough times, it's gonna die eventually.
She thinks for a moment. Yeah, I suppose stabbing things hundreds of times could be effective. Of course, it seems like it would get exponentially harder the more Banes there are coming after us. There's quite a few of them heading our way. You remember me telling you about our fancy new allies? Mr. Moonsong?
You mean the fairies?
She nods. Yeah. They're supposed to be helping us with that.
Haven't seen any of them around.
We don't exactly let anybody around the old stomping grounds.
I walk around the park too. We could at least have had the decency to pay us a visit. outside the restricted area.
From what I hear, more or less, anyways, a few of them have made themselves known to our numbers. Granted, it certainly doesn't sound like enough to take down a whole fucking army, but you know, better than nothing.
There's no such thing as too much help sometimes.
Gotta make sure the help's worth a damn first.
If there's enough of them, and each of them manages to put in a stab, I'm guessing it's gonna add up in the long run.
Yeah, but fairies like their bargains. At least what Mr. Moonsong seems to be letting on. So it's
So
not.
what are we supposed to pay them with? Virgin blood, maiden's laughter.
No, that's a really good fucking question. I should probably ask. The Theages, not the Theages, sorry, the Galliads. I think at least one of them went and talked to whoever's in charge of the ferries. I talked to Shiro Raya, and she was saying something about having talked to them. Something about some guy that was blue and taller than us in Krynos.
Could be. If we assume different shapes, I don't see why they wouldn't.
We have a scouting mission coming up. You interested?
Depends what it's about.
Trying to figure out more about these people trying to kill us. Typical of any scouting mission.
Who's in?
So far, me, Shira, probably Jacob, Raya, and some of the others from Shira's pack. She said she was gonna ask for volunteers, and we're also gonna take a couple of the Fae with us.
Aren't we trusting them with a bit too much too soon?
It's to test to see if they're worth a damn, actually. I'd rather take them on a scouting mission where they can fuck up there, and the worst that we got is like maybe, just a small handful of us on the putting our necks on the line trying to get out of there, as opposed to the whole fucking sept at arms and dealing with some ally that we got to protect on top of protecting the sept.
I'll tell you, I'm not the greatest scout around.
You ever talk to any of Rat's brood?
Not as far as I remember anytime soon. But I can talk with any spirit.
Do you be up for acting as translator for me?
Cocks his head. Get a bit of a side eye. I think he might have better candidates to act as translator, and he makes air quotes when he says translator. Isn't your alpha a Theurge?
I'm the alpha. I ain't no Theurge.
Get a bit of a confused look.
I suppose I could see if Camille's up to it. I have my concerns about bringing her on the mission. She's keen on one of the fairies. It ain't no time to be proving your love, you know?
If they're up to doing the horizontal tango, it's up to them. But the mission's a mission, so we need to keep our heads straight. To ask for the help of someone, especially when you have another god of that auspice within your pack, which usually means you trust them more, at least for all that's worth.
Have you given me a reason not to trust you yet, Nikki?
Well, you tell me.
If you'd given me a reason not to trust you, I wouldn't be here talking to you.
I see. And if you think of Cleeth is more suited to do this job than a Foster.
Gotta give people a chance to shine. You don't belong to a pack yet, and it's real easy to get lost in the rigmarole. You're trying to find your footing and find your place. Even if you don't decide to join the likes of me, showing that you're capable means that other people will have you on their radar. But if you would rather pass this along to the Foston, then I can put that task upon her as well. I can ask her to negotiate as well as being a scout, perhaps a sniper. But there's plenty of work to go around. So, you're telling me you're too busy?
I'm not saying I'm too busy. I'm just wondering. Of course, I can't refuse a mission from someone who outranks me. It's just a simple question.
Well, I know all about questions. There's questions like, what's for dinner? Where you're genuinely confused about something or trying to glean an answer. And then there's questions that you pose when you're trying to suggest something. It seems as though your questions are trying to suggest something.
Not suggesting anything, just trying to get a few answers. It's good to ask questions when you're the new guy around. Helps you find your footing, as you put it.
Finding your footing is important. Giving people a chance to shine and show what they're good at, that's important. Scouting missions don't necessarily have a lot of opportunities for you to stick a screwdriver underneath somebody's eyelids, so, you know, let's see what else you got.
Yeah. Giving people a chance to shine also gives people a chance to die.
Well,
That's neither here nor there.
We face those chances every day.
Yeah, that's why I don't think we need to increase them unless we have to.
If you went out, I'm not going to sit there and play, dominance over you or nothing. I mean, I understand some people are afraid of death.
Get a bit of a smug smile. It's probably the first time you ever seen him smile. Well, if you would have asserted dominance, I wouldn't have been able to say no. The fact that you, instead of doing that, decided to ask me speaks a lot about you. And since you asked me nicely, my father always taught me it's not polite to say no to a lady. So you could count me in.
Well, I'm glad to have you on board then, Nikki. Like I said, it'll give you the chance to shine. It looks like we're gonna need some fucking shine after today. She looks up at the clouds again. Fucked up weather we're having, isn't it?
And looks at the sky. Yeah, I noticed it got a bit dark and chilly. All of a sudden.
It's the summer queen.
What
She's
about her?
something took her. Some
Do you
nasty
have
stuff.
any details about that something? Because something doesn't tell me much.
Some sort of bane that could open up holes in the ground grabbed her. Got his claws in her real good.
Let's see. But this is what the scouting mission's about?
No, it does put rescuing the queen high on our list of priorities, though. Can't have summer fucking disappear, you know?
It's almost September. Summer's pretty much gone.
Yeah, so nobody will notice until next June rolls around.
Having almost half a year to do something wouldn't necessarily qualify as a top priority.
Oh, you think that if we just leave it there for half a year, we're good? In some godforsaken wormhole?
Just saying, let's go after the stuff that wants to kill us first. Because we're not a lot of help if we're dead.
I didn't say it was top priority, just high priority. Top is this army marching towards us, followed by. Honestly, I don't know what's coming next. The queen or Adeka. Both are. The queen is a relatively new problem, and Adeka's been festering for far too long. Jacob Raya says that nobody's been stepping up. You familiar with Adeka?
Out of character, if it's on the wormful board, yes.
Okay.
But out of character, the player doesn't remember that much about what's written on the worm board or wormful board or however the hell it's called.
Yeah, the sept like info board. Yeah, it has it on there, and basically, Adeka poisoned our like the municipal water supply of New York.
Fair enough. Okay, they're the guys with the water. You could have said it just like that.
Yeah.
And he nods. He says, "Aren't those the guys that want to poison our water?"
Yeah, decided it would be real kind of them to. They take it upon themselves to cure us of our shifting problem.
I don't have a shifting problem.
Well, you're a new guy around. For a while there, we were having a hell of a time. That's why I built that damn water distillery over there. Fuck, for a few months we were all a bunch of goddamn trashes drinking bottled water like that was a solution.
I just think there are worse things you could drink.
Then bottled water? You know what bottled water is, right? It's just some motherfucker's tap water that we had to make plastic waste for, and then diesel emissions as we truck it across the country. There's a few things I can think of that are as insulting to Gaia as bottled water. Especially when we could have solved this problem rather quickly and everybody was dragging their feet on it.
I wasn't there when the whole thing started, so can't exactly say.
I ain't accusing you of dragging ass, Nikki. I'm just letting you know that hesitation has a precedence and it has been noticed and it is not appreciated.
I'm just saying that sometimes taking a step back and planning your move can be seen as trying to chicken out. There's no harm in being smart.
No harm in being smart, but there is harm when you sit there and act like the water bottles are a solution.
Best way to keep a disease under control is first of all eliminate the disease and then look at the virus itself. If a wolf goes after your sheep, you keep the sheep safe first and then go after the wolf.
Interesting analogy there. Either way, we owe Decca a favor. That is the most forced and fake laugh ever. Like, there's no smile on her face when she does that chuckle sound.
You want to put cyanide in their tap water?
Well, matches up their asshole. Honestly, I don't give a fuck what way or the other. We take the whole thing down.
Depends on how fast and painful you want to kill them.
Fast, definitely. Painful, neither here nor there for me. I know there's a couple of people that take personal offense to causing undue damage to people. Take them out quick. Don't drag it out.
We live a stressful life. It's good to have fun sometimes.
That's your idea of a good time. Remind me to avoid your birthday parties.
Well, if we've got armies going after us, I might end up not having very many of those.
I don't think any of us are going to have very many of those.
Well, keep me updated on the scouting mission, and I'll see what spirits I can bargain with.
I appreciate it. As a bonar, I'd like to work with Rat's Brood. So if you can touch base with, rats and mice, that sort of thing. I hear they like cheese.
I'll see who I can talk to. Get some help our way. Depends on how we're gonna go about it. I'd rather deal with grandfather's brood.
I don't know
Hitting
much.
closer to home.
Well, again, you'd be kind of acting as a translator for me. I don't know what any of them is saying. All I hear is a bunch of gobbledygook.
It's a favor bestowed upon some of us by the spirits to be able to communicate with them, but trust me, as useful as it may seem, sometimes it's more of a chore. You can fade out nonsense. You can't fade out conversations and go past you.
Mm.
I know at least humans in their books presume that all spirits are wise. Some of them have a very weird way of showing it if they decide to show it at all. So
Maybe
don't envy me for my job, because I sure as hell don't envy you for yours.
Nah, I know what I am.
Oh. And about the whole alpha thing, I'm guessing congratulations are in order?
Eh, nah, you don't need it. I don't need no fucking congratulations. It is what it is. Responsibility needs to go to somebody who can handle it at the moment. If you can't handle what's in front of you, then it's best to see hand it off to somebody who can. Who knows? Maybe one day Cammy will be up to the task again.
He nods. And I only met her once, so it's hard to say. You know the workings of your pack better than I do.
There's a lot of these Banes coming. I don't know if you have anything else that you can offer to a scouting mission besides your nice translation duties. So I won't, again, I will not press you to actually go and scout with us. The fairies are going to have to because, like I said before, they need to show us that they're any good.
I know my way around shady people, if that helps. Certain organizations, he says as he makes air quotes, tend to have increased knowledge about what happens in their general area. And you want to find out what happens in an area, you talk to two people. Two types of people. My people and your people.
Russians and trailer trash.
I meant mobsters and hobos.
Well, I know the pigeons have been squawking about something. Maybe they can point us in the direction that we need to go to get a good beat on these folks. Pigeon spirits, I think. At least that's what the rumor mill has been saying. Not quite sure how trustworthy the rumor mill is, considering the same rumor mill says shit like Thrash Can has killed a Mokoli with her bare hands in Hamid.
Got a little fan club there?
I got some interesting family members is all.
Hey, if you ever need to borrow $10 again, you know where to find me.
I appreciate it. Honestly, my typo always could use $10. So
Hey, it's a loan, and my type has a bad history of dealing with people that don't pay their debts.
well, I'm not quite sure how much I could handle the interest if you're giving me a loan.
$10 is $10. I can brush off the first one as being interest free.
Sorry about that. My kids are yelling right outside of my door. Well, we'll see if my people ask for payment again in the near future, but I'll keep it in mind. Usually I'm able to scrounge up at least enough spare change to grab them a Big Mac or something.
Kolya reaches into his pocket and pulls out this very thick, elaborate black leather wallet. Flips it open, pulls out $10, flips it closed, puts it back into his pocket, and he grabs the bill with two fingers and like hands it out to Bailey.
She goes to reach for it. Is he gonna do that like jerk thing where he like yanks it back?
Nope.
Okay. So interest free?
Interest free, but I expect them back at some point.
Fair enough. We'll see if I can find out any further information from someone about something.
Make sure we come back. Everyone comes back alive from this little scouting mission, or might look the other way when it comes to just $10.
Sometimes I feel like people are expecting an awful lot of me.
It usually happens when you do your job right. People think you can do theirs too.
Yeah. There's everyone's. I look forward to working with you, Nikki.
Oh. The first mission I've been on that you led went pretty well. Bit disappointed you didn't let me kill that bitch, but the first share of the kill goes to the highest in station, so you had that working in your favor.
Well, if things go sour during the scouting mission, feel free to kill as many as you'd like, as long as they're not on our side.
How about we make a deal regarding body counts? You make sure you keep ours low, I make sure I keep theirs high. How does that sound?
Sounds like an arrangement I can get behind, Nikki.
He extends his hand to Bailey.
And she'll shake his hand.
You'll notice that even though he's not like particularly strong, he's got a pretty firm grip.
Trying to intimidate people with your handshake these days is something.
Strong handshake, strong backbone. Old saying in the business. The moment you go limp fish on people, they start disrespecting you.
Yeah. My people don't really expect a whole lot in the realm of respect. You keep your expectations low and people might surprise you. You keep them high and all they do is fucking disappoint you time and time again.
Right. I give respect to respect's due. I expect the same from others. It's not a lot to ask for.
And for some it is. For some, it's somewhere along the lines of if the moon was shining on their ass the day they were born, well, they want your lips upon Luna's glow, you know?
Yeah. I think it's not only disrespectful, it's also stupid. If you're gonna throw all your responsibilities to someone, might as well have the common decency to not spit in their face afterwards. Not to mention the fact that I would dare anyone who has an issue with the Bonar's capacity to do something right, to bring it up with the Sipped Alpha. I'm sure that could be a very teachable moment.
Life is full of teachable moments.
Unfortunately, some people don't take the lessons from those moments.
That is a true fact.
If you decide to skip school, no, to skip classes in the school of life, it's gonna come and bite you back in the ass at some point.
If you reduce the Ragabash to nothing but a fucking court jester, you're bound to keep bumping into the same mistakes instead of learning.
Keep in mind that the jester is the only one in the entire kingdom who can tell the king he's stupid to his face.
How many times do you think he gets away with it?
Every time. He's the jester.
It only works if the king is stupid enough to not realize he's being called stupid.
It is the role of the hidden moon to be the questioner of ways not to spoon feed people information until they get smart enough to see it for themselves.
Yeah, I know what my place is. I'm beginning to wonder if other people know my place.
It's not about other people not knowing your place. It's a matter about other people not knowing theirs. If you start doing your job and only your job and stop doing theirs, they might notice I would advise keeping yourself safe from well-wishers and suck-ups. My father had a good saying. Every time I thought I was the greatest, that was fucking irreplaceable. Cemeteries are full of irreplaceable people. And somehow life goes on.
When I was coming up,
Surprising, isn't it?
oh, go ahead.
Surprising, isn't it?
Nah. About growing up or coming up as a cub, rather. There was plenty of people reminding you that you ain't shit yet. Fuck, even my deed name is kind of a play on what I had to do beforehand. Be on goddamn garbage duty. And nothing till you're something, you know?
Far from it the thought of disrespecting anybody's deed name, especially the Bonars.
Oh no, I'm proud of my deed name. It's just prior to it being the prestigious thing that it is, my job was to take out the trash. And so every day, those of us who were dumb enough to think we were hot shit would be reminded we were not. And then at the end of it all, Bailey, take out the fucking trash.
Spent most of my teens in my early 20s taking out trash, but I'm guessing you mean a different type of taking out trash than I'm referring to.
Quite possibly up until the moment of truth, yeah.
I'm guessing you used either a bag or a can to take out the trash.
Nah. Are you familiar with those fuckers who breed wolf dogs?
Vaguely.
Well, there's folks who do that.
You might want to P&E that.
Okay. Let's see.
But I'm gonna manip sub like a motherfucker.
All right. Yeah, bought up empathy.
One, two, three successes.
She picks up nothing.
Yep.
Well, one of those 6 sons of bitches was trying to sell a wolf dog as a junkyard dog back home. And little cub Bailey was told to see if it was as shady as they thought it was. And so little cub Bailey snuck on over to follow this charming individual who had several wolves on very, very short, heavy chains. Female wolves. They'd been overbred, in some cases to the point where they were barely alive. Chained because self-respecting wolves don't want to be mounted by no damn dog. So I reported back, and I was told to take out the trash. And so I fed him to his lovely mutts. She's going to watch his face for reaction to that. You want to roll another peony? Do you have a reaction to that?
Yeah, let's go at it again. Because my social pool is awesome.
God, I am rolling like shit today.
Not even blinking.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking statuesque. Nothing. Interesting. Well, if we were down to sharing stories, my date name has a bit of a dark streak, too.
I'm all ears.
Let's just say that my cuphead wasn't the prettiest. Don't know how most people react. I can tell you that even alive among certain organizations doesn't prep you for everything. Had to help our kin without being seen or heard. Most of the thing to sneak up constantly. But most people don't realize that our kin can't see past the shadow. So I slipped sideways and waited and waited and waited. Till I found two motherfuckers that wanted to set fire to a forest. Forest where our wolfkin lived. I wanted to do so for some business, to buy some land. Managed to find them. Managed to scare them into the wood they just set fire to. Problem is, there's only so many you could save from a fire before that fire grows too much. Had the pocket knife on me. The only weapon I had. And he's gonna unbutton his shirt sleeves and pull them up to above his elbows, and he extends both of his forearms to the insides of his forearms, and you can see if you squint you can see tiny cuts in each direction, um, most of them going downwards, down the street, not across the road.
Really, just kind of looks at them. If you're just looking for attention, you should be going in the other direction.
Let's just say that, and he looks up at the cloudy sky. Some spirits like blood as payment. It was the only thing I could give them. It's not unheard of weird storms in Russia. Few of them so strong. Even fewer of them strong enough to put out the forest fire in minutes. It was a big favor. They wanted a lot of blood. That's what that was called. And as he says this, he pulls down his sleeves and starts to button them up back. Because of this, I gave us moons. decided to call me Bleeding Rain.
Whew. It's a lot better than what I was assuming.
I have no problem getting my hands dirty. Like I said, you probably took out the trash with a can or a trash bag. And I had to take out the trash. It involved guns and baseball bats and the occasional knuckle duster. Different tools for different types of trash, I guess.
And yet, ultimately, still having to take out garbage that probably woke up in the morning thinking they were going to have a normal day.
You don't get a special message in the morning on the day you die. Take all the fun out of it.
I was going to say, just as well, I prefer the surprise. Well, Nikki, this has been an enlightening experience, and it certainly puts your bargains into a certain perspective. What did you promise when we went up against Manetti?
Pay them the only way I know they like to be paid. Don't happen to hang around the cairn hard in the early morning, do you?
I do not.
You would have seen a lot more wrist cutting.
Perhaps you should try and find out if there's anything else they like. Perhaps a nice steak, or for you to record the soaps for them, or water the plants while they're out. Something a little less detrimental to your arms.
Skin grows back. Blood regenerates. Dead Garu don't. Usually shut their mouths and you bid high. You don't like people I work with having a lot of elbow room.
Hmm. I do not envy the theage, if that's what it takes to bargain with spirits.
Depends with what brood you bargain most often.
Mother Rat, she takes care of us.
Looks up at the sky. Grandfather Thunder takes care of us as well. If we're worth the bother. I have the most and you could have the best.
Because sometimes it's a numbers game, Nikki. Rats and roaches will always be here.
I'm guessing there were thunders before rats and roaches were around. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be thunders long after they're gone too.
With the way we're messing with the environment, it's a tough call.
Anyway, I need to get back to my rounds.
Keep a keen eye.
I always do.
Have a good one. And she'll do like the little like 2-finger at the eyebrow salute. She turns around, puts the $10 in her pocket, and heads off Sept finally.
Kolya is gonna continue his round.
All right. Seems like a good place to end the scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.